Have you ever seriously thought about turning your ideas into a real full-time income on Etsy? Well, today, we're going to break down the entire 2026 blueprint to make that happen. We're talking from your very first launch all the way to becoming a pro-level store. So let's just dive right in. So that's the big question, right? How do you actually pull this off? I mean, the Etsy marketplace is more crowded than it's ever been. So what's the real, actionable path to building a business that can actually support you full-time? To guide us, we're looking at strategies from print-on-demand expert Cassie Johnson. And she's not just talking theory here. She has personally sold over $1 million in revenue. But what's really incredible, as you can see, is that she's helped her students do the exact same thing. Her experience is the rock-solid foundation for this entire blueprint. All right, let's get into part one, laying a proper foundation for your store. Because before you even dream about scaling up, you have got to get the basics right. We're talking quality, customer service, and all those little technical details. You know, one of the first things that trips up new sellers is customer reviews. You get that first one, and you kind of freeze. Do you reply? Does it really matter? Well, yeah, it matters a lot. Getting this right from day one is absolutely key for building trust with shoppers. So here's the game plan, and it's totally different depending on the review. If you get a 5-star review, that's awesome. Reply publicly, say thank you, and lock it in. But, and this is a big but, if it's anything less than 5 stars, you need to work with the customer privately to fix the issue before you reply. Why? Because the second you post a public reply, that review is set in stone. The customer can't change it. So remember the rule: resolve first, reply second. Okay, that makes sense. But what about the quality of the actual product? With print on demand, it's just not realistic to order a sample of every single design you make. I mean, that would cost a fortune. So how do you make sure your stuff looks great every time it ships? The secret is just following a few simple rules of thumb. For anything that's not clothing, like a mug or an ornament, always use the design templates from your print provider, like Printify. For clothes, it's all about placement. You want to position your design about 2 to 3 inches below the neckline and make it about 8 to 12 inches wide. These little specs make all the difference and give you a professional look every time. No more guesswork. And that brings us to part 2, which is where the real fun begins, your creative design strategy. In a world where anybody can just type a prompt into an AI and get an image, this is how you make things people are actually excited to buy. So in the past, the go-to strategy was pretty much this. You'd come up with one really great design style, and then you just swap out the text for dozens of different niches. One for nurses, one for teachers, one for dog moms. It was a pure numbers game. But the game has changed for 2026. The new strategy completely flips that on its head. Instead of spraying one design everywhere, you pick one niche and you go deep. You create, say, 10 totally different, amazing designs just for that audience. Then, once you find a design that really starts to sell, that's your winner. That's the style you then scale out. It's so much less risky and way more profitable. And this all leads to probably the biggest question for any seller right now. I mean, if AI can spit out a decent-looking design in 5 seconds, what's to stop everyone from doing it? What's your real competitive edge? Your edge is simple. It's your human creativity. An AI can make a picture, but it can't create a real emotional connection. Your advantage comes from mashing up ideas in fun, unique ways. Remember that whole silly goose trend? And here's a secret. On Etsy, simple, clever, text-based shirts often blow complicated AI art out of the water. Your unique creative voice is the one thing AI can't copy. You just have to use it. All right, on to part 3, mastering the search game. Because look, you could have the best design in the world, but it's totally useless if nobody ever sees it. This is all about understanding how Etsy works so you can get your stuff in front of actual buyers. So one of the first things that really confuses new sellers is pricing. You'll be scrolling and see t-shirt listed for like $5, and you're thinking, how is that even possible? My cost is $10. What is going on there? The secret is a strategy called a loss leader. And you need to understand this. That super low price you see in the search results, it's usually not for the main shirt. It might be for a tiny add-on or maybe just one specific, less popular size or color. It's designed to do one thing: get you to click. The actual shirt you want, like a size large in black, is priced much, much higher. So to win at search, here's a simple 3-step plan. First, go find 3 or 4 best-selling products in your niche. Second, just copy and paste their titles and tags into a document and look for the keywords they all have in common. Those are the winners. And third, take those keywords and build your own title, making sure to put the most important, most relevant phrase right at the very beginning. Now, a super important point about timing. Etsy is a marathon, not a sprint. When you post a new listing, it can take 3, 4, even 5 weeks for the algorithm to really start showing it to people. So look at this timeline. For big holidays, you have to be listing your stuff a full 6 to 8 weeks beforehand if you want to catch that big wave of shoppers. And that brings us to the final section, part 4, scaling up for a full-time income. This is where we talk about the advanced moves that really separate the side hustlers from the full-time pros. So let's cut to the chase. What's the number one most impactful strategy you could use if your goal was to go full-time on Etsy within a single year? The number one tip by far is to focus on group listings. It's simple. Instead of selling one item to one person, you're selling a whole package, 2, 5, 10 items in a single order. The math is undeniable. You make way more profit from every single sale, which means you need way fewer customers to hit your income goals. It's a total game changer. And you can apply this idea to pretty much any niche you can think of. We're talking matching shirts for a family vacation, a whole set for a bachelorette party, or bulk orders for Teacher Appreciation Week. Heck, even something as simple as a wifey and hubby mug set instantly doubles the value of that sale. I mean, this chart says it all. The profit you make from one shirt is fine. It's good. But the profit you make from one group sale of 5 shirts, that is what transforms your business. You're literally 5 times closer to your goal with the exact same amount of marketing effort for that one customer. And here's the best part, and this comes straight from Cassie. Setting up these group listings, it's a little more work. It takes more thought. And because so few other sellers are willing to do it, it creates this massive opportunity for the ones who do. The extra effort is your competitive advantage. So there it is, the whole thing, from building that solid foundation and having a smart design strategy to mastering Etsy search and then scaling with group listings. You have the complete blueprint right in front of you. The path is actually pretty clear. The only question left is, what are you going to build with it?